President and the administration are 100% committed to getting Exim Bank reauthorized. It's an absolutely fundamental tool that we need to help American businesses sell their goods around the world. 60 other countries have similar Exim banks. We don't want to give up a financing tool for whatever reason I don't understand. This is really, really important. And there are American jobs on the line. And that's what seems crazy to me.
There's clearly opportunity. Electrification, the president wants to spend $7 billion, but $5 of that billion is from the Exim Bank. They're persuasive arguments you just made, Mr. Secretary, but are those going to be persuasive on Capitol Hill?
I think we'll be successful in Capitol Hill because I think every district in this country has a company that's selling something around the world that if it isn't their product that's getting Exim financing, they're supplying to a product that's getting Exim financing. So I think that we'll get there.
Should the administration, Mr. Mayor, have a plan B if Exim funding doesn't come through, if the reauthorization doesn't have it?
I think that they have to focus right now on getting it through. If something doesn't happen, look, you can't have a plan B for everything. In this case, I think Penny's 100% right. When people stop and think about it, this is not a political thing. This is something that every other country does. If we're going to be competitive, we have to do it. If you think that we shouldn't do it and you can get all of the countries to stop, then we'll have a level playing field. We won't have as much business because this is the catalyst and gives people the ability to buy now and pay later. But nevertheless, it's the competitive aspect that I worry about.
When we talk about growth, we talk about opportunities for U.S. business. Infrastructure is one of them. Do you see, I mean, the GE's announced another $2 billion today. They sell high-tech trains, big-ticket items. On infrastructure, on the sort of basics of building roads and cities, where are the opportunities?
Well, I led a trade mission to Ghana and to Nigeria just a few months ago. There's enormous opportunity. There are companies that are helping. SEWW from North Carolina, they're helping the Ghana Electric Company get the most out of their grid. How do they make it a smart grid? How do they do more to get electricity out of their infrastructure? There is so much opportunity in terms of power, electricity, technology, solar. There's and what we know, and what does the president know, and why has he been pushing Power Africa? You need power in order for your economy to continue to grow. And Africa is underpowered. Every way you look at it, I don't care how you analyze it, they need hundreds of billions of dollars of infrastructure, particularly power. And you'll hear the president will announce not only deals, but a greater intention around power.
Obviously, power important. So are roads, getting to and from places. When you look at cities, Mr. Mayor, what cities are investing in the right way in their infrastructure? You mentioned Nigeria. Lagos is a pretty tough town to get across. If you want to get from the center of town to the airport, it can take a good day.
Well, look, there's clearly not enough roads for a lot of places in the world, including some of the cities. Unfortunately, it's tough to get around some American cities, and those things that impedes the ability to get to a place for education or medical care or commerce and that sort of thing. But I think one of the things you've got to look at is technology is different today. You don't have to have the same infrastructure that you used to have. Today, 50% of the people in Africa have a smartphone. They didn't go and run telephone lines all over the continent. You don't have to do that in this day and age. There's satellite communications, there's cellular communications. And the same thing is true for commerce. There's air today, which you didn't have before. I've been recently in South Africa, in Cape Town and Johannesburg, thriving, bustling cities. Do they have poor people who need help? Absolutely. So do we in our country, and we've got to take care of our poor, and they've got to take care of theirs, and sometimes we can even help each other. But they have this spirit. You look on the streets, and you say, wait a second, these cities are going to be real competitors.
When we talk about all these trends coming together, urbanization in Africa, big cities, potential for finance, is Africa going, when you look at finance on investment vehicles, are they going to be the new Asia? What's the next Hong Kong in Africa?
Well, it's going to take a while. I think South Africa, I don't know whether the generation's 20 years. That goes pretty quickly. But there are stock exchanges all through Africa. They trade derivatives. There's all sorts of kinds of financing that will let you have different risk profiles and payment profiles, cash flow profiles. This day and age, things are happening much more rapidly than what they did before.
Can I build on that? So when we were in Africa, one of the places we visited was Meltwater, where they're training young innovators and entrepreneurs, African innovators and entrepreneurs, how to take an idea and make it into a business plan, create an entity, get it financed, and get out and build a new business. That's a key part of the opportunity in Africa, is help the entrepreneurs begin to build their businesses. With the kind of infrastructure that we're talking about, that becomes more and more possible. It's very exciting to see the innovation that's going on in Africa. And what's really cool is you don't need anymore to have, significant personal infrastructure to be able to invent and create, let's say, a new app, a new game, new products that the market takes up on its cell phone. So it's just amazing what is going on there. And I think it's one of the reasons to be very excited, and there's enormous opportunity for American business.